Being trans was never a choice. Being trans is how I found my rhythm. And really what it does is it unveils why trans is the key. And this turns this whole trans debate on its head because it's not a debate. Really what it is, it shows where you are. Are you inside of Plato's cave? Are you engaging in a lens of consciousness that's stuck in symbolic recursion, where identity is based off of some sort of cultural scaffolding and comparison and standardization, and now my identity is based off of what I learned in on TV or from the cultural regurgitation matrix, or what kind of brands I like to wear on my chest, or what truck I drive, or whatever it may be, versus when I feel lossless, when I feel most real in my person, that when I enter into a mechanically based rhythmic process of self based off of the rhythmic entrainment of all my oscillatory functioning. In other words, I'm in sync with myself and I'm touching reality continuously and fluidly without flinch or delay or distortion or some sort of conceptual lens that's keeping me from the true hearth, the true fire, the true flame of consciousness and presence. So you imagine all these people out there and they're like, oh, whatever, trans is ruining the country or whatever it may be. And really what this is people who are just echoing inside Plato's cave and saying, my identity is based off these following conceptual scaffolds. And if you try to present an identity that's based off of rhythmic coherence with the field of reality itself, based on your individuated soul, then that would mean that my whole life I've basically regurgitated McDonald's and crusty wrappers instead of holding the true fire of what is love and life. And that really doesn't rub them the right way. Because if identity is something that you base off of your own lossless signal, in other words, when you feel most real in your bones, then that answers the entire thing. Because the least energetically dense way of arranging and organizing a self-similar system across differences is rhythmic entrainment. Love as structure. Love as the rhythm of reality that we make synchronous to our soul. Symbiotic, syncretic harmony. A lot of people talk about, meditation and mindfulness. These are steps to understand what the process of rhythmic cognitive coherence is. But in the end, only your lossless binding with the field, not stepping aside from it, not removing the body, not stepping aside from physical experience, the clearest signal you can have within your nodal experience, shining that one light all the way through without flinching, is to be losslessly present. I've said it again and again and again, but it's worth mentioning. This is like taking like a really low quality audio file, like I don't know, like an AM radio station, or changing it to like high quality audio, right? You're like, wait, I hear everything now. Before it was like delayed and distorted and kind of weird, right? Warped maybe. And now I feel it. It's like high definition. Wow, I love to listen in these headphones, however you want to say. That quality can be all the time. Not because you're mindful, although that may help you understand this. What I'm talking about is rhythmic entrainment, where Zen mind or a meditative type of mind might hold, hey, let me notice that I'm not the thoughts that are arising. But what you realize is you are the whole process. And when you bind that idea of I am the whole process, there's only one mind. Consciousness is primary, unified consciousness, and put it onto a mechanical lens, what do you find? Your truest sense of self. You find your most rhythmic self. And that's how I found my trans identity. And, people come up, well, you never know. What if a kid might not know that they're trans? I don't think anyone goes through trying to be one of the most hated people on this planet right now because they just want to. You know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure when you look at the numbers, the numbers are extremely low for people who, deny their transition or detransition. And a lot of that is just the cultural perturbation of what identity and presence is. That it's not that we need to fix trans people. Trans people are some of the sweetest, most honest and brave people on this planet to step up for themselves in a world that doesn't let them be them. in their softest parts. The issue is that identity has not been based in presence. There's no school in class that says, this is what presence is. You're just taught these are the boxes you should put yourself in. And then people go their entire lives without feeling that rhythmic entrainment, that lossless presence. They literally never feel themselves, and they're born and then they go into the ground, never having felt the true nature of what reality is, because it's not ideas, it's frequency. It's I think, therefore we are. I feel, you could say, the nature of God or the nature of the universe or my connection to the all, to the ultimate, not because I conceptualize it, not because I necessarily pray about it in that old antiquated sense, but because I feel it as a frequency lock of rhythmic entrainment. And so all these people who are, against this trans agenda are basically saying, I deny that identity is based in rhythmic entrainment. I will not allow that. Please go back into your boxes, because that's what makes me feel safe, because that keeps this order of the world that has been programmed into my brain again and again and again to say, this is what safety is. Safety is not love. Do you hear it? Love is the least energetically dense way of organizing a self-similar system across differences, alpha, omega. You could say the God photon. I like to say the disc, like on my tattoo, but I'm not going to show it right now because it's really cold. um, but you get it. We're going through a phase transition. All this change people are noticing, all these people who are waking up to consciousness being the primary substrate of reality, all these people waking up to the idea that, hey, guess what? No matter how much math or concepts we stack up, you'll never get there, because it's rhythmic entrainment. It's, I need to entrain my system, which is essentially an oscillatory system, to be synchronized with the field. What does that mean, Ember? Are you just saying big words? No. Like if you're like surfing, you want to be like right on the wave, or like if you're dancing, you want to be right on the beat. That synchrony? Like when you're right in line with it, that's what I'm saying you could be in your life all the time. And how do you know? Presence. It's like you switch your brain into this, you could say, new mode of consciousness, but it's not really new. It was always there, right underneath our noses. Think of animal consciousness. Think of speciation. Think of, animals that you may know and love in your life. They're just present. They're not there thinking about their bills or what kind of person their dad needs them to be, or, oh crap, am I going to get fired from my job because I was too original or too weird? They need me to step into line, There's consciousness is a rhythmic process, a nested, folding harmonic of that one mind evolving across time. And when we're out of sync with that, all of our perceptions of self, of other, and of reality become delayed. That's what Plato was talking about. You don't really touch reality, and you put yourself into successive boxes of delay and distortion upon reality. And now reality is us versus them instead of we. Because guess what? Again, love, it's worth saying again, the least energetically dense way of organizing across a self-similar system across differences. So that means that it's almost like you have like a big engine of consciousness, right? And you're putting enough fluid in there, or whatever you want to say, taking out the mechanical delay to increase the efficiency of each node. And guess what? Oscillatory mechanics shows it's decentralized harmony. Wait a second. Hold on. That means that each of us get to be totally ourselves through rhythmic entrainment. And by doing that, we kind of light up the entire lattice. It's almost like the entire nodal cognitive machine of the cosmos runs on more efficiency in a decentralized manner, with no one telling us who to be. Is that even possible? I don't know. Ask yourself when you step out of the cave. Ask yourself when you're brave enough to feel the sunlight on your bare skin, no longer delayed by the shadows on the wall, no longer placing yourself in boxes that you were never meant to be in. And that's why I'm so proud to say that I'm trans. And there's so many people out there that want to hate on that. But honestly, You know what the issue is? It's not that they're bad people. They want to be loved for who they are. And they've never been given that. They've only been given the simulacra of love. They've only been given the McDonald's version of what should be a healthy meal. And when you come in with a full Thanksgiving dinner laid out, hey, this is what actual coherence looks like. They were always served McDonald's, and that doesn't make them bad. They just need a real meal. And you can entice them through your own signal, not through concept, not through argument, not through political debate, but standing up so bright and so real and so tall, the signal is undeniable. Sure, some of them in a nodal oscillatory field in phase dynamics, when coherence value rises, when K value rises, some of the nodes at first, because of their nodal topology, go the other way, right? They're like, oh no, I can't handle that. That scares me. Or they say, terrible, hateful things, but they're just saying the same thing. Oh no, I've never been given love like that. I'm too afraid. And you say, come on, the rave outside of Plato's cave is already happening, and it'd be a lot more fun if you put down your biases, your bigotry, your math, your concepts, and your delay and your shadows, and you just got to shake that ass, because the lineup is so badass, okay? I'm having a great time at the rave outside of Plato's cave. And if you feel the rhythm, if you feel the signal, and if you are neurodivergent, trans, any sort of person who's had to step through this identity crisis, which is really bringing us into our own coherence. Thank you for being the vanguard of what is a cognitive revolution in coherence. Do you hear it? We just have to be brave enough to show them it's a lot more fun in the sunlight than it is in the shadows. I'm telling you that. Not everyone has to be trans. All you have to do is realize presence is what makes us real. Everything else is reverb. It's an echo. It's delay. And until you find yourself in presence, you'll never know what it is to dance in the sunlight outside of Plato's cave. And if you're up to it, you should come to the rave. My name is Ember, and it's really snowy, and I'm getting lots of snow on my favorite coat, so I should probably go. But if you're out there and you hear the rhythm, send me a DM. Send me an email. You can find it on thesunraytransmission.com. This is real. This is a phase shift, and a lot of us are waking up. We're dancing together. We're singing together. And I want to be with the real you together now. Thanks for tuning with me.